now after all these years. So I'd like to just take you back to the year 2000 when everyone was driving around in the skies in souped-up DeLoreans. When I was driving around the lanes of Arlo in a minibus, back to the year 2000, and I was working for Big Pete, if you remember, a big bearded Northern Irish bloke. Now, Big Pete chose me to be one of 5 people that worked for the Council Youth Service who went on a racism conference. No, that's not the funny bit. And it wasn't because I needed it most, it was my design skills. So, I got chosen to be one of these 5 youth workers to go on a racism conference at Buchenwald concentration camp in Germany. No, that's not the funny bit either. Right? What's the matter with you people? No wonder Savile got away with it for so long. Good old Jim. So we went to Buchenwald concentration camp, me and 4 other people from the youth service, including Big Pete. And we met up with all these youth workers from all around the world, and we all attended seminars on racism, and we attended workshops on racism, and we had talks from survivors who were actually in the concentration camp. And you heard stories that were some of the bleakest, fucking most horrible, evil things that humans could do to other humans. It was some dark fucking stories. But in amongst that, there was the light. No, that's not the funny bit either. Be patient. So, in amongst all that fucking darkness, there was the light of humour. And you heard about things that helped people held on to humour to get them through those dark times. So on the final day of this conference, we were invited to attend a theatre piece from a local theatre group. And they'd converted one of the old SS barracks into like a black box theatre. And so we all filed in, and I was sitting next to Big Pete. And the lights go down, it all goes quiet. And onto the stage, file all these young women wearing really brightly coloured, beautiful dresses. And then they take their dresses off, and underneath they're just in kind of plain black clothes, I presume to kind of signal their entry into the concentration camp, where they're stripped of their clothing, their possessions, and their individuality. And at this point, I don't know why, I leant over and said to Big Pete, whispered it in the style of Beavis and Butthead, "Gave me a stiffy." It's not okay. All of a sudden I felt Big Pete's arm shake, and you're like, oh God. And he gasped like he's trying not to laugh. You think, oh no. And him trying not to laugh made me. And we're both stifling laughter, and you know, because we sort of sat there looking away from each other for about 3 or 4 minutes. And every now and then, just when I thought I was okay, I'd feel his big arm shake next to me. And it would fucking set me off, and I'm like, no. And then all of a sudden, Big Pete just fucking lost it. Like a kettle whistling. He went, "Wee!" And it done me. I just had to get up, and I walked out, and I walked across the courtyard, and I found a wall. And I just sat there, and I laughed, and I laughed, and I laughed, and I fucking laughed, and I laughed till I was crying with laughter. About half hour, 40 minutes later, the theatre started kicking out, and I made a beeline, and I was going to go straight up to Big Pete and apologise. And as I walked up to him, before I could apologise, he looked utterly ashamed of himself. And in his broad Northern Irish accent, before I could apologise, he said to me, "The trouble is, I do fundamentally find it very funny." And this is my problem, is it might not be okay, I know something's not okay, but what are you meant to do if you still find it funny? And this is Paperboy. I'm going to tell you a little story about my Paperboy. Paperboy. It's not a very happy one. Won't bring you joy, bring you joy, bring you joy. My Paperboy looks just like for Paperboy, Paperboy. I never thought that I would Paperboy, till he came along now singing this song about raping a Paperboy. Paperboy, Paperboy. I never thought that I would Paperboy, till he came along now singing this song about raping a Paperboy. He delivers the local news on a Thursday afternoon. I hear him whistling down the path, but he won't be so cheerful soon. His family will be on the TV news putting out a tearful plea. But he isn't dead, he's trapped in my shed, crying and waiting for me. Dressed in a girls' school uniform. 1, 2, you gotta sing along now. Paperboy, Paperboy. I never thought that I would Paperboy, till he came along now singing this song about raping a Paperboy. Everybody now. Paperboy, Paperboy. I never thought that I would Paperboy, till he came along now singing this song about raping a Paperboy. Of course I haven't raped my Paperboy, that's as twisted as you could get. I've restricted myself to having a wank watching him from behind my net. I know some blokes will hear this song and try and give me a fight, but last week he turned 16, so legally that's alright.